Today, I'd like to show you an educational resource called a Quizlet. It's available online, so it's very easy to get to. I've never had any problems with the slow loading or difficulty getting to this website. Once you go on, it's easy to make an account. It'll log in with your Google account. You can see I already have an account here. It also has all the games that I have used in the past, things that I've looked at. You can save class and keep them in a folder. So different Quizlets that you can use for different classes. It's really user friendly. You could just go in here and you could type integer addition, or whoops, it would help if you spelled it right. You got to be close. Integer addition. It is very nice to use for review. You see right here, it says advertisement. You can pay to get rid of the advertisement. My school internet blocks all advertising, so you're not seeing the ads here, but there are ads that show up. This is great for, like I said, review or for student practice, because it's going to give them a set of flashcards basically, and then it has different options that they can use to study those flashcards. So if I pick, again, integer addition, you can see here, these are all sets of cards. There are 30 cards in this set, 10 cards in this set, nine cards in that set. And if I scroll down, you can see that there are 20 pages of these, so there are plenty of them to choose from. If I pick one, it will give me an addition right here. If I scroll down, it will give me what's on all of the cards. Okay, so this would be the set that I'm going to use. And I look at them and think, okay, I'd like the kids could review these. These look good. You could sort it alphabetically or the original order. Okay, and then these are the options that you're given. So if you want students just to flashcards, just old-fashioned flashcards, only these are digital, it will give them these problems. If they click on it, it will give them the answer on the back. They can hit play, and it will time between the cards. So they would say it out loud and hopefully get it right, and then it'll flip the card over. So it's, again, basic flashcard kind of option. And you can send this link to the students, and then they can play the flashcards. Another option is this learn, which is they have to type in the answers. Now, sometimes when I start this, it'll have the answer here and not the problem. So if you go to options down here, okay, and you go to term or definition, that will give you the answers and the problems, depending on how the teacher set it up below. So if anytime you start this and it's giving you a number here, the answer and not the problem, you can always go to options and again, change it from term to answer, or term to definition, or definition to term. Okay, we do know this one. This one is 0. And you click answer, and it will tell you if you're correct. If you get it wrong, it will also tell you that you're incorrect, what you said and what the correct answer is. So again, not real fancy, but it is a nice way to review. And it will go over problems that students are having trouble with. And it's nice when they need repetitive practice on a skill that you know they need to practice, but they think they already know it. Spell isn't usually very useful in math unless you are trying to remember properties or make sure that they can spell certain terms. Test is a nice option. You can send them this link. It will give them this little test. They can screenshot the solution or the answer when they get done, and their score, and they can send it to you. There's no retrieval process in the actual website. Now you'll see here is what I was talking about. Here it's giving me the answer. If I type in some random problem that gives -6 as an answer, that will mark incorrect. So you want to go to options and you want to change this to term, new test. And now you'll see it'll give me the problem, and I type in the answers. And if you look down, it'll give you where you type in the answers. It will give you matching. It will give you multiple choice, and it will give you true or false. And then they can check their answers. And it will say no answer given if they haven't given an answer. So you see all those. It will give them a green check for which ones are correct. You can also mark off if you don't want the true and false, or you don't want the written, especially some of the written, you have to be careful, because if it's properties and they spell the property wrong, or they don't put in the correct way. Instead of multiplicative inverse, they write multiplication property of inverse, or the inverse property of multiplication. It will mark it wrong if it's not the way it was on the card. So just something to be careful with. So those four options on the left-hand side here, study, are nice ways for the kids to study, repetitive material that they need to know. The matching and gravity and live are games that are very fun to play. You talk about keeping students interactive on something, especially when they think they already know it. This, they can quickly put, or not quickly, the problem to the answer, and you'll see they turn green and disappear. If they get a wrong one, it'll turn red and throw it away. It keeps time here, which is nice for competitive students, because I ask, who got the quickest time, and we write those on the board. But it's a nice matching activity. The gravity, again, both of these activities kind of have speed. The matching activity, they don't have to be super fast. This one, let's put hard. Easy, hard, and medium have to do with the speed they're given to answer the questions. So if you look at this, hopefully it'll be the problem written here. It's the answer. So again, here's where it's difficult, because if they write any random problem that give these answers, it's not going to work. So I'm going to pause it. I'm going to go back. Okay, and this is where we need to change the problems and the answers down here. And to do that, what you have to do is you have to actually make a copy of these cards. Okay, so now this is my own copy of the card. They'll call them Hall. And you don't even have to change the name there. That's why there are 20 pages of these. But I can delete a card now if there's one of these cards that's incorrect, or a card that I don't particularly like. But the nice thing is here now I can change, flip terms and definitions, and I click create. And now when I go to the gravity, I want to share it. When I go to gravity, now it will show the problems. I'm going to leave it at medium. Okay, as they drop down. Okay, there now is the problem, and I can type in the answer. And if I do that, the asteroid will go away. If I get it wrong, it'll keep dropping. So let's say I put 2 in here. That's wrong, 6. You can guess as many times as you want. But when the asteroid reaches the bottom, it'll stop the game and give you that score. But it'll allow you right until it hits that bottom part. So as soon as you get one wrong, not when you get one wrong, but when you get one wrong, continually until it hits the bottom. Let's see if I can show you one of those. But it will, I randomly hit the right answer. It will stop the game and give you the score. So let's just let this one fall. Again, this website's great for review, for practice, for students. It doesn't do higher level thinking unless you write questions that way. However, again, a lot of this practice is timed, so it makes it difficult for higher order thinking. Okay, that -7 and 7 hit the bottom, so it said what it was and the correct answer, and then it'll stop and give them the score. If they hit restart now, it'll bring their score back to 0. So this is Quizlet. The live option is a great interactive game that you can play with a class. It's a little bit like Kahoot, and if you Google live, Quizlet live, it'll show you video, or I think there's a video right here that will show you a guided tour of it. It is a beautiful game that the students do like. Again, it is timed though, so it is more useful for students who can think quickly, or things that are not necessarily higher level that they need to think long and hard about getting answers. So that's Quizlet, and I hope you found that helpful.